All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show, the election. Now, as a data point to where gold and silver can go, it's data that we simply can't ignore. Now, I've gone on record to say that I'm basically not red or blue. I'm more gold and silver, to say the least, meaning that I believe many ills in life come from a lack of resources, and if money is a representation of or a resource itself, then gold and silver are it. Everything else is credit, in the words of the late great JP Morgan. So as I sit back and watch the theater of politics, I'm naturally curious about how it will impact gold and silver. Well, Jim Rickards seems to have a unique perspective on this in his latest article. We'll get into that shortly, but first, if you're new to this channel, please hit that big red subscribe button right down below. Also, please hit the like button. Helps to get this economic evangelism right on out there to the masses to bring more people into precious metals. Okay, so his latest article is entitled Jim Rickards' Blockbuster Election Prediction. Now, after reading this, Jim really illuminated some subconscious thoughts that I didn't realize I was taking note of. First, we'll start with this. Let's get to this section here. Biden is confined to his basement. So let's get started with this. It certainly seems that Biden is afraid to come out of his basement. He's afraid to do press conferences where softball questions are not scripted in advance with friendly reporters. Even when the questions are scripted, Biden has difficulty answering. He's afraid to go to the Democratic convention in person where he would have to face other officials and the media. When Americans smell fear, they ask why. Why would Biden be afraid to come out of his house and face the rough and tumble of American politics, including reporters, debates, voters, and opposing candidates? By now, the answer is clear. The sad answer is that Biden's cognitive ability has declined radically. The decline has gone so far and so fast he can't handle any of that exposure. Now, after reading this section, I initially thought to myself, I only ever see Biden in that one room with the bookshelf in the back every time he's highlighted. Now, hey, I mean, look at me. I've changed up locations. Joe Biden can change up locations too. But, joking aside, seeing that and constantly hearing from his aides in lieu of hearing from him directly, and not even having him to be physically present at the Democratic convention while others were slated to be there physically, just raises some questions. So Jim thinks that the Democrats will actually switch Joe out with someone else before the election. Now, I'm not exactly sure how that would be the case, but things aren't looking too good right now for Biden. Even after his announcement of picking, Kamala Harris as his running mate, Democrats didn't really seem too excited. Now, I know a lot of Democrats. I would probably say most of the people I know are probably Democrats. I have a couple of friends who are, conservative. And again, I myself am gold and silver. But all I heard were shouts of disappointment on social media from the people who lean Democrat, and from people I personally know, I heard disappointment as well. So this brings us back to the prospects of cash and gold. So let's wrap this article up with a quick blurb here. Right at the end, it's this one right here. Get ready for a bumpy ride. By the way, my analysis has nothing to do with partisan politics. I wasn't going to vote for Biden anyway, but it gives me no joy to see him decline like this. He should be allowed to withdraw from the race with dignity and retire to face his health issues in private. This will not be easy, but it is necessary. Does all this sound far-fetched to you? Well, it isn't. And you can actually see this coming a mile away if you know what to look for. Investors should prepare now for the political shocks to come. That means going with larger than normal allocations to cash and some hedging assets such as gold. Then get ready for a bumpy ride until election day. Start your watches and check your portfolio. So if you're new to Jim Rickards' line of thinking, he advocates stacking cash primarily for optionality. So that's the idea of being able to pivot to various asset classes when need be. And if you think about it, it's similar to Warren Buffett's recent approach of just sitting on billions of dollars in cash and just waiting to pounce on various opportunities. It's a smart move, and I've been doing the same with cash, kind of waiting to pounce on gold and silver opportunities at a moment's notice whenever we have those flash sales, as I like to call them. But guys, that is one way to take a look at what's going on right now with the political theater. Again, I'm not advocating for anybody right now or in the near future. I'm looking at this primarily solely as a data point for where gold and silver could go and how we should be looking at our assets. And again, I actually am doing this. Most of my, I have mostly dry powder right now, and I will be using that to pounce on gold and silver opportunities when it seems beneficial for me to do so. But let me know how you guys are moving with your investment strategies, and you're getting into gold and silver as well. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion.